It's 1 minute till showtime.
Good evening, folks, and a hearty welcome to our drive-in theater. We have a wonderful evening's entertainment lined up for you, one that will provide several hours of pleasurable relaxation and diversion for you and your family. Did you fail to dress up for tonight's show? No tie, an old shirt and slacks, a house dress? Well, don't give it a thought. We're glad you came as you are. We just want you to enjoy yourselves. Don't forget to visit our refreshment center during the intermission or any time. You love the tasty array of snacks we have to offer. So will the youngsters. Everything is quality and so good. We hope you'll make this a weekly visit. Bring the family. Bring your friends. There are always wonderful new pictures to see, delightful snacks to nibble, a gay, pleasant evening for all. Oh, a word of caution. Don't drive over 10 miles an hour in the theater area for your safety's sake. And Mom or Pop, go with the kids when they leave the car. We hope you have a wonderful time. And now, on with the show.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jim. This is More Sunshine, Please, the Tuesday evening live stream. How are you? Hi. Welcome. Coming up on the show, I'm going to be eating something. I'll be drinking some coffee. We're going to play a game. I've got a top 15 list. But before we do any of that, I like to celebrate the first 3 people that make their way into our chat. I still don't know why that doesn't make noise. But this does. The Olympics are coming up. I'm wearing my Olympic shirt. This is from 2012. Here we go. Your chat may differ from mine, but probably not. Our gold goes to Jamie. Unbelievable. Paul Eichenlaub is our silver medal winner. And It's Joey's World rounds out the medal stand, winning our bronze. Let's see. I wasn't paying attention. 4:05 a.m. was our gold medal winning post on our chat. Then Paul at 5:14. I love you guys. And It's Joey's World, 7:36 a.m. Thank you for your training and efforts. And congratulations. Timothy Rainwaters, welcome in. I mean, that was at 9:30, but hopefully you come back. Donna Jaworski, season's greetings to you. Phantasmic Chronicles, stopping by and leaving a thumb thank you. Well, if you watch the replay, thanks for stopping by. It's good to see you. Noah, welcome in. Francisco, that's fun to say. Thanks for being here. Mark Langenkamp, you can't win them all. Michelle the Quilter, hello to you and your family. And there's Laura. Hi, Laura. More Jamie. There's Donna's back. Sebastian the Crab. Thank you for hanging out with us today. There's more Noah. Let's see. It's Joey's. Well, there we go. Am I caught up? Timothy Rainwaters is back. Awesome. Meredith Varley, hello. Mom and Dad, hello. All right. Let's get to it. First of all, I feel like I'm becoming a news show, not topical events necessarily, but I usually have a sports segment, and today I've got a weather segment. I just need a consumer advocate segment, and we're good. Although I do have something I found on a clearance shelf. I suppose that's the same thing. There's a hurricane in the Caribbean, and it's called Hurricane Beryl? Burl? Let me show it to you. If you haven't been paying attention, we're in the Tampa area, so we always have our antenna up for such things. But let me show you. This is from, I think, a couple hours ago. Actually, it seems like many hours ago. The hurricane is approaching Jamaica, and if you're not familiar with hurricanes much, once they get to a certain wind speed, they cease being a tropical storm. They become hurricanes, and there are 5 grades of hurricanes, categories rather. Category 1, your lowest wind speed hurricane. That's how they measure them, wind speed, I think. Cat 2, Cat 3, Category 4, Category 5, of course, is your strongest. Beryl is a Category 5 hurricane right now. Now, that's as dangerous as it gets. I saw that there are 200 mile per hour wind gusts associated with this storm. It already ravaged Barbados and an island close to Barbados. I didn't write anything down. Now, it is expected to make landfall in Jamaica, which is bad news for the people of Jamaica. But it will, once a hurricane makes landfall, it will decrease in strength. So that's good for other places. Perhaps it's goes to hit Mexico after it crosses the island of Jamaica. So you can see here on this map that they have it forecasted to weaken after crossing paths with Jamaica, going down to a Category 1 before it hits land next. Now, that's if it maintains this path. And then you can see after it hits that peninsula of Mexico, it decreases to a tropical storm. Still dangerous, but not nearly as dangerous as a Category 5 hurricane. Dad Builds, welcome in. Hello to you. We're just talking weather. If anybody else, Mr. Fulton Mraz, welcome in. I just saw that. Hello to you. From North to Neverland. Hey, guys. I think that's Gregory. Hello, Gregory. Okay, so now I watch such things because I want to be prepared for if a storm is coming our way. And we have water and candles and all that stuff, but it looks like this particular storm isn't going to come anywhere near us. Now, what's very interesting about this storm is normally we get hurricanes maybe the end of August, early September. Even though hurricane season begins June 1st, we typically don't see storms until a couple months into hurricane season. And it goes through November, if you're wondering. Now, this Hurricane Beryl is the earliest there has been a Category 5 hurricane on record. So that's noteworthy. And I did see, I don't remember where. I don't think it was Barbados, but one person was killed as a result of this storm. Those small island nations, they are just, what can they do? There's no escape. Here in Florida, we can see a hurricane coming, and then we can drive to Walt Disney World and get a room at, one of the resorts and ride it out or whatever. The point is, those people have nowhere to go. Most people, that is. Anyway, not to bring the room down. I do that in many, many other ways, but this is a bad hurricane. It's bad news. All right. Well, let's move on. We have been seeing a lot of critters in our yard. I want to show you a brand new one I've never shown you before. Okay. We've seen a ton of birds. This isn't a bird. As a matter of fact, we've seen deer. What else have I shown you? Rabbits. Everybody's got rabbits. But let me preface showing you this by saying our homeowners association recently hired a crew to clean out and make more accessible to draining water the retention pond behind our house. And I think once they did it, because it was overgrown and it wasn't draining properly, and since they've been taking care of it, we've seen more animals, including this guy. Where is it? I'm going to play this and go here. No, here. Why can't I click on anything? Hang on 1 second. This was working right before the live stream, I promise you. All right. I see me. All right, there I am. Okay. Okay. We're back. The darn critters, you're right. Okay. Now I've got a prep. No wonder it wasn't working. The whole live stream wasn't working. Okay. Let me get this back. All right. There it is. Okay. This is our backyard. My wife saw it. I ran out. Typically, I don't like to frighten the animals. I don't like to get close, but I felt like I could get kind of close to this guy because he was on his way to the retention pond anyway. So I got a little bit closer than I do to most of the animals we see in our yard. Yeah, it's a turtle. And I had to look up what kind of turtle. Sorry, buddy. This is, what I could tell, a painted turtle. I Googled it. You can see near its head, it's got these yellow stripes there, and that's what I came up with. Wikipedia tells me this is the most widespread native turtle of North America. It lives in relatively slow-moving fresh waters, from southern Canada to northern Mexico, and from the Atlantic to the Pacific. They're everywhere! Anyway, first, I don't know if this is the first time we've seen this type of turtle, but I didn't get that close, but I could tell he didn't want to be anywhere near me. I feel kind of bad about, it's the Prime Directive, from Star Trek. Don't mess with things, but I did this time. Anyway. I want to know what is the foaminess when he dove into the retention pond. He left a trail. What is that? Oh, yes. Thank you for the confirmation. Yeah, painted turtle. Kind of exciting. We were excited when we saw it from the window, and I ran outside and recorded it. I hope he comes back. I won't run out there again, but it's fun to see these critters in our yard. All right. At the top of the show, I mentioned this is sort of like a news show where I had a weather segment. I don't have any sports this week, but I've got a consumer advocate of sorts. Not really. I just found something on a clearance shelf, and I want to try it here on the show. If you're just joining us, welcome in. Thanks for being here. This is from our local our closest grocery store, which is the Winn-Dixie, which was bought out by Trader Joe's. That's what I heard, but nothing's happened. I don't think it's going to become a Trader Joe's. That would be too amazing. But anyway, I would love for it to be a Trader Joe's. It's too big. It's too big a space to become a Trader Joe's. And it's not in a typical Trader Joe's location. Anyway, this was on clearance. Normally a $6 box of cookies. You can see I got it for $3. This is an Oreo knockoff. Actually, a Hydrox knockoff, because Oreo is a knockoff of the Hydrox cookie. Hydrox was first. Anyway, I digress. Goody Girl brand s'mores sandwich cookies. So when I saw this, I thought, oh, I bet that's delicious. And I thought, they are trying to rip off Hydrox / Oreo and Girl Scouts. This box, I believe, is designed to look like it could be a Girl Scout cookie box. Look at the back of it. This looks like a Girl Scout cookie box to me, just with whatever's being said back here. The size of the box itself. Anyway, it says it's baked without artificial colors or preservatives, baked without high fructose corn syrup, baked without gluten, peanuts, eggs, or dairy. So, no wonder it's on the clearance shelf. We'll see. I'm very excited. But, you know, I'm not expecting much, but I'm hoping for the best. If you're just joining us, welcome in. John, hello. Kathy Hollister, hello. My voice is getting high. All right. Pepper Treeville is here. Welcome in. Okay, so the fake Oreo / Hydrox fake Girl Scout cookie. Here it is. It's the s'mores variety. It appears, I don't know if it's vegan, but it's made without a lot of stuff in there. All right. Let's go here. Eating music. Okay. It's not bad for a cookie made without gluten, peanuts, eggs, dairy, high fructose corn syrup, artificial colors, or preservatives. It's a pretty good little cookie. I will say it's incredibly sweet. So what they don't have in flavor, they mask with an incredible amount of sugar, I'm guessing. Serving size is 2 cookies, 11 grams of sugar. That's 5.5 grams of sugar per cookie. Those aren't big enough to have that much sugar. These are crazy sweet. I will say, though, they're trying to mimic a s'more, and you can see they've got the graham cracker side and the cocoa side here. I could taste the cinnamon. I believe there's a bit of cinnamon on this side. This tastes like I don't even know if I've had a s'mores flavored cereal, but if I were to try one, I would imagine it would taste like this. It doesn't taste like s'mores at all, really. I mean, I get the graham cracker, and the cocoa doesn't really come close to recreating the chocolatey goodness of a actual chocolate bar in there, and the marshmallow. There's very little better than a fresh s'more. It's my belief that the best desserts, sweet treats, are the simplest. Chocolate chip cookies, hot fudge sundae, s'mores. You don't have to wow me with your fancy cooking. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. You know what I mean? I like to keep it simple, and it's all good. That's incredibly sweet. I don't think I'll have many more of them. If it were the school year, I would take them to my classroom, and my students would devour them immediately. But I'll keep them around. Sadly, in a month and a half, I'll be back at work with students. So, yeah. Simba2, hello! Welcome in. Amy, AJC Magic TV. Hello. Thanks for stopping by, hanging out. All right. And of course, after eating a cookie, I do need a beverage. But what to drink?
Great coffee is easy, Mrs. Olson.
Coffee's for closers only.
I set high standards for myself. I set high standards for my coffee.
Picks you up, calms you down. It's the lifeblood that drives the dreams of champions.
All right. It's still very warm here, so I have iced coffee again. This time with a much larger straw, apparently, to get the chia seeds that we put in our iced coffee. You know, for the protein. And what I do is I make sure to drain this of all the chia seeds first. It's like eating a cupcake, the cake part of a cupcake, and leaving the frosting part, like the top of the cupcake, for the last part, because it's the best part. So, not that the chia seeds are bad. I don't even taste them. I feel them, but they're so there's practically nothing to them. So it's just a game I play with myself while drinking this. I just spilled some. Okay, we were at Aldi. I like to have a something about coffee, not just coffee, but maybe a little fact or tidbit or something about coffee. And I didn't upload this. What do we got? Oh, okay. Thank you. We were at Aldi recently, and I saw that they have a shelf, an aisle, really, that is, they call it the aisle of shame, and it's a bunch of a variety of things. If you know, you know. And in this particular aisle was this. I didn't upload this to my live stream here, so I'm just going to show it to you on my phone. This is a electric wax melt warmer. I don't know what a wax melt warmer is for. I'm just going to hold this up to the screen here. And you can see the design of the wax melt warmer. Is it like a candle, or it just heats up scented wax? I don't know what it is. But the design is coffee is always a good idea. So I took a picture of it, and I forgot to upload it here. So that's my little coffee segment material here. So, yeah. Cynthia, welcome in. Surfer Girl's here. Hello. There's DG Explorers. The actual DNG Explorers account is logged in now. Dean from the live place. Kay Wilby. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm rejoining the chat here because I've been busy. My live stream went out again, second time in 3 weeks, so I don't know what's going on there. I made that coffee the other day and it was good. Absolutely. All right. Let's see here. Going back in the chat just to make sure. Okay, bear with me. I'm just going back here, and oh, what's this? Good stuff. I wondered if it was any good. Well, it's very sweet. It was all right. But very sweet. By the way, I don't know if you can tell. I had a mole removed today. Can you see the little bandage here? That's the health segment of my news broadcast today. Yes. All right. Am my live stream? Are we still on? Good. Okay. I'm just going back. All right. Let's see. I see something from Mr. Fulton Mraz. Let me get to that in a second here. Going back. What? Did I miss it? Wait a minute. The top of my chat, the very first comment is now from 7:05 p.m. after my live stream started. So, medal winners, you got your medals, and then YouTube took your comments away. I never paid attention to that. But Mr. Fulton Mraz, best wishes to you on whatever it is you put in the chat. I don't think I can access anymore. So sorry, I couldn't see it. All right, let's move on. Okay. Oh yeah, let me take another sip. Oh. Coffee. All right, it is 7:27. Let's play our game. Where's yeah, here. And all right, here we are. This is Chrono Photo. If you haven't played Chrono Photo with us, this is a game in which we are shown 5 pictures. We have to guess in which year each picture was taken. We can guess anywhere from the year 1900 to last year, 2023. That's the range in which we can guess. The closer we are to the correct answer, the more points we get. A bullseye is worth 1,000 points. Last week, we got them all right. So we got 5,000 points, which is our record. We've done it twice. We're looking to do it again. Okay, here is our first picture. And it appears to be somebody running with the torch at perhaps an Olympic opening ceremonies. I can guess which opening ceremonies I think this might be, being a black and white photograph and a bunch of guys standing there in uniform. I'm thinking 1936. That was the Berlin Games. Jesse Owens, famously doing very well at those games. If you've ridden Spaceship Earth at Epcot in the last 20 years, you know all about Jesse Owens because he's part of the attraction, kinda. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, I can't imagine this being any other Olympics. But maybe I'm wrong, but I'm thinking 36. That's my guess. I don't even really have to zoom in on anything, though I will. Yeah. Is this anywhere other than Germany? I don't think so, but yeah. Oop, okay. Let me turn to the chat. Our first guess. The first one I see is from Mark Langenkamp. 1939. So you're saying this isn't in Olympics. PTV says 36. John says 36. Oh, Dad Builds has a coffee question, if you don't mind. Do you like cream, sugar, or any flavors in your coffee? I do like flavored coffee, but I do not go cream or sugar, except when we make iced coffee. The cream. Rather, this is oat milk in this one. But I don't... And a bit of date syrup to sweeten it just a touch. But when I drink coffee on the norm in the morning, it's black. That's the way I go. Thank you for your question. Okay. Jay, Nashville, welcome in. Good to see you. 1936 is your guess. Jamie says 36. Paul says 36. Donna, 36. Everybody's saying 36. I probably will guess 36. Any other guesses, though? Marlene, hello. Hope you're doing well. Okay, we're going 36 here. So to enter our guess, we just move this slider here to 1936, and then I'm going to put my thumb on the correct answer button because I'm feeling good. Submit. Yes, 1936. We got 1,000 points. Let's move on. Hey, this I showed a picture last week of an actor from this movie. I believe this is the cast of The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing. You can see Kurt Russell there. And I showed you a picture of Wilford Brimley, who is also in this movie. And I don't see him in this picture. Anywho, that movie, when did we say that came out? Was that 81 or 82? But this is definitely that's what, I'll be honest, I've never seen that movie. But I know of it. And I've seen clips. And Kurt Russell looked like that. And it took place in the Arctic Circle, did it not? Movie Mania Nick, help me out here, I think. All right, I'm going to let some more guesses come in, but I don't see Wilford Brimley in this photograph. I see what looks like the lead singer of Boston. This guy was in Lost, wasn't he? This is that actor Richard Mazer? Is that his name? I don't know anymore. Is this Wilford Brimley here? I don't know. I don't know anybody else. I'm not sure I knew any of the other people. Is that Keith David? I know he was in another John Carpenter movie. Okay, let's see what the chat says. Going back. Our first guess, I believe, is from Surfbum, who says 82. Donna says 82. Noah, 82, not even a guess. This is from The Thing. Thank you, everybody. 82, 82, 82. I think we're going to be starting with... Now, that's the year the movie came out. When was this picture taken? We're going to go 82. I don't want to overthink it. Timothy Rainwaters graduated in 82. All right. Brad Delp, I believe, was the singer from Boston. Yes. I'm glad you guys like that. Okay. We're going 82. Thumb on the button. Here we go. Submit. Yeah! 2 for 2. All right, let's go to our next one. Good luck, everybody, with this one. Although, it looks like there might not be a lot to work with here. There is an automobile back there. And that model of umbrella, that was really... No, I'm kidding. I don't. Umbrella. Umbrellas are umbrellas. All right. There's that car. 30s? Is this a Prohibition era automobile? I'm trying to think. I only know automobiles that I see in movies, and this car reminds me of one that they were riding around in the movie The Untouchables. Kind of. What's in the background? Is that a bridge? Is this New York City? Can we see what's on this? Not really. Can't make it out. Hard to see the people here. I mean, there's a number of people on the sidewalk, but I guess I'd go with I don't know, 1934 would be my guess, but I don't know. I might be wildly off. That car might be from a completely other decade. Anything in the window we can make out? Not really. What else? Let me zoom out. Any signs on the buildings? I don't know if that would help, but telephone poles or electric wires. But I don't see horse-drawn carriages or I guess it's raining. Maybe they keep the horses in. I don't know. Turn into the chat. I don't really know about this one. I think our luck might be running out with this one. This one is more difficult. Well, it was filmed in 81, but the picture, they said 82. All right. All right, I think our first guess is 1933. We have a 35, 32, 34. All right, that's every year of the 30s so far. Okay. We've got another 34. Is that what I said? I think it was. Two Real Geeks, welcome in. Hope you guys are good. We have a 26. Paul says 26. Okay, we're out of the 30s now. Going with 1930. 37. Mark says this is Pitt Street in Sydney, Australia. Really? Okay. $1933 is another guess. We have 31. Rachel, hello to you. Thank you for your guess. 32. Mar in Memphis, always a pleasure. I'm just seeing your name in the chat here. Let's see. What did I say, 34? But we had some earlier guesses. I'm going to maybe... I'll go 33. Because that's what I'm feeling. I'm going to put my thumb... I'm not going to put my thumb on the button for this one. I'm really not sure. But I will hit the submit button. Here we go! Survey says... Oh my goodness! We are 3 for 3! Let's go to our fourth picture. Hey, have we had this one before? If not, we've had a similar one. I know we've had trains, pictures of trains before, but I don't know if this is the same one. No matter. I don't remember what, if we had it, I don't remember what the answer was, so. Okay. We're getting some Asian characters on the train here. Chinese, perhaps? Is there anybody not in uniform? Let me zoom out. What am I missing here? Can we see in the train? It doesn't look like a new train. This looks quite old. And there's nothing in this picture that tells me it was taken this century. These ads, for example, or whatever this is on the fence is like that. I mean, it kind of looks like the wall of an outfield of a minor league baseball team that has sold a lot of sponsorships. There's not a lot to go on here. I'll say mid-90s, 95. Can't get more mid-90s than that, can you? But I don't really know. All right, turn into the chat. Oh, Mark is looking up these pictures and giving us information on the photographer? Are you kidding? Oh, well. Okay. Our first guess is from Mark, who says 84. 80s, 86, 86. What did I say? I said 95. 86, 85, 79. 84. Oh, I think Mark is providing the answer for us. 91. Rachel doesn't want to guess. I don't want to guess either. 86. Well, more 86s in there than anything else, so let's do it. What? I'm sorry to yell into the microphone. 84. Wait a minute. Did I get something wrong here? Oh, Mark did say 84. Wait a minute. Where am I seeing all these 86s? Oh, I blew it, everybody. Oh, well. Still got a lot of points, though. Let's do our last one. A photographer on the sidewalk. With pictures, with frames or mats to go along with them. Well, that's an entrepreneur. What is this? Stoves. It just looks like it says stoves. I don't know what that says. But he's in front of a restaurant. In front of a Coca-Cola sign. Today's intermission is a Coca-Cola ad. They're not sponsoring us, of course. But it has to do with the USA. And this is my, after all, 4th of July show. On the 2nd of July. Anyway, back to the game. Oh, boy. That's very early 20th century, of course. Now, he's the one with the camera. Who took his picture? Look at the hats in those pictures. This is early 20th century. This is like Jazz Age. 1922. I'll say 22. That would be my guess. But that Coke sign, I guess they've had that logo forever. There's also Pepsi in the window for 5 cents. Eat. All right. It looks kind of like a young George Foreman selling me a grill that slants so that the fat runs off into a plastic tray. All right, where am I? Okay. I think our first guess is 52. Is that correct? Okay, Mark says it's 38. Really? I would have thought it'd be earlier. What did I say? 22? Marlene says 31, 38, 36, 35, 39. 1950s, check out the taxi reflection. Oh, man, I didn't even pay attention to the reflection in the window. Good thinking, good eye. Well played, sir. Yeah, that's not 20s. All right, but I don't really know what it is. No, 38, I guess, but 50s, check out the taxi. 1954, 41. Got some fans of the Foreman grills. I had one. It was red, half red. Like the top half was red, and the other half, the part that holds the grill. The grill, of course, was like a slate gray, but under that was about like a light gray. Anyway, 38. I think we're all going with 38. There it is. Yes. Okay. We're Googling, and because of my error, though, we didn't get a perfect score, but we got 48-49. That's pretty darn good. Thanks, everybody, for playing. I hope you enjoy that game. I do, even when we don't get a perfect score, but that's all right. Okay, it is 7:49. I've got a 4th of July top 15 list coming up for you right after this intermission Coca-Cola video. Hope you enjoy this. I'll be back in 1 minute. All right, top 15 list for this 4th of July week. I thought I was always fascinated by the American Revolution, of a subject in history as a grade school age student. I remember doing the best in my class on a test about the American Revolution. I was just interested. Anyway, and that's the only time that ever happened. But I thought today's list would be about 15 lesser-known founders of the United States. The term founding fathers, I believe I read this yesterday. Warren G. Harding came up with that, and he mentioned the founding fathers in an inauguration speech of his. And then it was used again by Ronald Reagan, and now founding fathers is a popular term. Originally, it was founders, and certainly there were women that helped along the way, and I've got a couple here in this list. But this is men and women who you may have heard of. I've heard of a few of them, but didn't know exactly what their role was in the founding of the United States. So I'm going to show you 15 of these people and tell you a bit about them real quick. 7:51. Here we go. Number 15, Gouverneur Morris. Everybody knows who wrote the Declaration of Independence. Nobody knows who wrote the Constitution. Gouverneur Morris single-handedly took all the drafts and put them together in a week and gave the Constitution its shape. So a bunch of people wrote the Constitution. But he shaped it. And he made the most important editorial change in American history. The draft that he was given began as follows. We the people of New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, blah, 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 etc., etc. It listed the states down the East Coast. He changed it to read, we the people of the United States. All of a sudden, the single issue that's central to the whole Constitutional Convention, are we a nation or a confederation of states, is resolved in that one line. So that's Gouverneur Morris. We're counting down the lesser-known founders of the United States. Number 14. I'm going to try to be kind of quick here. Lemuel Haynes. I'm guessing that's how you say it. It's like Samuel, but it's Lemuel. In July 1776, Lemuel Haynes, a free black man with a white mom and black dad, was a soldier in George Washington's Continental Army. He had just finished writing an essay called Liberty Further Extended, one of the world's first anti-slavery pamphlets. When he read the Declaration of Independence, he liked the phrase, all men are created equal, so much that he used it to open his essay, thus becoming the first person to quote what are now the Declaration's 5 most iconic words. Whites of the founding era who wrote about the Declaration emphasized its states' rights passages. In those early days, Haynes and other anti-slavery activists like Benjamin Banneker were about the only ones who read the Declaration as promoting personal freedom. Those abolitionists and, in the 19th century, women's rights campaigners eventually convinced their fellow Americans to see our founding document the way all Americans do today, as a universal declaration of human rights. Lemuel Haynes. Number 13, Esther de Burt Reed. I don't know how to say it correctly, so I just rushed through it. Anyway, born in England, Esther became a prominent American patriot. Following the most significant American defeat of the Revolutionary War, in which about 3,000 men surrendered to the British in the fall of Charleston, South Carolina, in May of 1780, she wrote a tract titled Sentiments of an American Woman, which called for women to rally to the revolutionary cause. She compared their potential role to biblical and ancient heroines who came to the aid of their countries. The pamphlet proposed a fundraising drive, which she then organized. The money collected by the canvassers bought linen to make shirts distributed to soldiers. I had read, this is an aside, that she wanted to just give the money to the soldiers, but George Washington said, nah, they're not going to spend it wisely. Let's get them shirts. And then she agreed, so they got them shirts. Esther Reed's pamphlet was the first major public statement by an American woman about a political issue. She has, however, been forgotten, largely because she tragically died later in 1780 in the aftermath of childbirth. Her work was concluded under the leadership of her friend Sarah Franklin Back, Benjamin Franklin's daughter. All right. Cool. All right. Number 12 on our list is Nathanael Greene. Was a military amateur, but he rose from the militia to become George Washington's most dependable and loyal general. His, quote, confidence didn't quote, arise from our discipline and military knowledge, but from the justice of the cause and the virtue of America, unquote. Greene wrote that himself. Showing the same sense of morality throughout the war, Greene championed equal pay for black soldiers, humanity for loyalists, and rules of war by which, quote, cruelty was dishonorable, unquote. And let's see, okay. Despite few individual victories, Greene was able to exhaust the British and win the Southern Campaign. I skipped some things there. He excelled, this is a lot to read here. He excelled at the thankless task of supplying the Continental Army as Quartermaster General, even driving himself into financial ruin by personally assuming the debt to equip his troops. So why don't more Americans know about Nathaniel Greene? Washington tends to overshadow all other generals, but Greene's early death from heat stroke in 1786 may be the culprit. He died when he was 43 years old. Okay. All right. Let me cut back here. We're counting down the lesser-known founders of the United States for this 4th of July week. Number 11 is Anthony Wayne. Wayne raised a militia unit at the start of the Revolution, and his Pennsylvania regiment participated in the failed invasion of Canada. In 1777, he led his men against the British at Brandywine and Germantown near his boyhood home before spending the winter at Valley Forge. In 1779, Washington ordered Wayne to storm the seemingly impregnable cliffside fortifications held by the British at Stony Point, New York. The daring nighttime assault, in which his men employed only bayonets as weapons, lasted a mere 30 minutes and earned the brigadier general the moniker of Mad Anthony Wayne. And a personal note here, there are a ton of counties throughout the country called Wayne County, including the one I'm from near Detroit, Wayne County, Michigan. That's named after Anthony Wayne. Also, there is a Fort Wayne in the city of Detroit, still there, historic Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne, Indiana, of course, named after Anthony Wayne. The college I graduated from, Wayne State University, named after Anthony Wayne. All of these things named after this guy I didn't really know much about before today. So, Anthony Wayne. Number 10. Here we go. I'm trying to get through this kind of quickly. Eliza Harriet O'Connor. She was the first woman to give public lectures in the United States. Importantly, she gave them at the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia in the summer of 1787 when the delegates were gathering to draft the Constitution. Almost every day in the newspaper, as the delegates worked on the Constitution, there was a notice that there was a woman giving lectures nearby. George Washington attended one of them. And because of his attendance, newspapers across the United States spread the word, and it went, as they say today, viral. It's probable that her legacy is the fact that the Constitution is gender neutral. The Constitution is gender neutral, permitting the interpretation that women could hold political office and participate as voters also. Number 9, Benjamin Rush, a second-tier revolutionary who is not as well known as he ought to be. Although he was a member of the Continental Congress from Pennsylvania and a signer of the Declaration of Independence in 1776, he was not primarily a politician, but a physician and scientist, indeed the most celebrated physician and scientist in the early republic. More than either Benjamin Franklin or Thomas Jefferson, Rush personified the American Enlightenment, since he came to believe that, quote, the science of medicine was related to everything, unquote. He considered everything within his intellectual domain. Believing he was acting for the benefit of the whole world and of future ages, he campaigned for every conceivable reform, for a national university, churches for blacks, temperance, healthy diets, the emancipation of slaves, prison reform, free postage for newspapers, enlightened treatment of the insane, the education of women, animal rights, and the abolition of hunting weapons, dueling, and corporal and capital punishment. One of Rush's greatest achievements was bringing the two estranged former friends, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, back together in their retirement years. So that was another famous Benjamin of the founding of this country. Benjamin Rush. We are at number 8. Here we go. Hannah Griffiths. I thought it was Griffiths or Griffin, but no, it's Griffiths. By July of 1776, Hannah Griffiths had been thinking and writing about patriotism and liberty for more than a decade. A Quaker, a poet, and the head of her own household in Philadelphia, Griffiths was linked by family to some of the most ardent patriots, Secretary of Congress Charles Thompson, as well as famed moderates John Dickinson and many neutral or loyalists. Griffiths was part of a circle of women writers in revolutionary Philadelphia who had been exploring what women's independence might mean. She had written lyrically about faith, nature, and grief, but when she turned to politics and the American dispute with Great Britain, she was more direct. In 1768, when British taxes on goods bound for the colonies were making headlines, she wrote about how women could use the power of boycotts to make their political views known. She called on female patriots as the daughters of liberty to deny themselves and their families the taxed goods. Rather than freedom, we'll part with our tea, she proclaimed. When the revolution came, she could not support violence, but she was ready with her weapon of choice, words and boycott. Next, another woman, Nancy Hart. This is number 7. And here we go. Cool story here. One day, between 1778 and 1780, Hart was at home with her daughter in her cabin in Georgia when 5 loyalist soldiers, that is, Americans who supported the British cause, showed up at her door, armed with weapons and bayonets. The soldiers said, "Feed us." She went out and she brought her daughter with her, and she said to her daughter, "If you go find American troops and tell them I've got 5 loyalists here in the house," or just tell them that, not if. And then she cooked them a meal, and while she prepared the meal, she drowned them in alcohol. Like, she served them all the alcohol that she had. She didn't drown them, literally. By the time they sat down, they were pretty drunk, and she made them put their rifles in the corner of the room. Then she picked up one of these guns, and she aimed it at these 5 men, and she held them prisoner for 5 hours until the Americans came and arrested them. There were unknown ordinary women like this all across the former colonies. There were women who burned their crops on their farms to prevent the British Army from having grain or the food that they needed while they marched. Some stored ammunition and weapons, and when the British or the loyalists showed up at their houses, they exploded their own houses to make sure the British couldn't get those weapons. So she's one of many women, but we know her name. We know Nancy Hart. Number 6, James Forten. A free person of African descent, was one of the wealthiest men in Philadelphia. He fought as a privateer in the Revolutionary War as a teenager and was captured by a British ship. Born free in Philadelphia, after his release, he eventually returned to this city and became a businessman who made his fortune running a sail-making loft and investing in real estate. He used the money that he earned, as well as the influence that he acquired, to push forward the causes that were closest to his art: abolition and equal rights. He wrote op-eds for local newspapers and also helped to support the Liberator newspaper published by William Lloyd Garrison. One of his most famous writings, Letters from a Man of Color, really eloquently talks about fighting in the Revolutionary War alongside white men and believing that they had all been fighting for the same thing, that all men were created equal. In a world where people often envisioned the American Revolution as one that was not only about white people, it's important to remember how many people of African descent were deeply involved in the founding of our nation and the shaping of its ideals. Indeed. Number 5, Rufus King. Major contributor at the Continental Convention. The contract clause was his idea. Was one of New York's first 2 senators, along with Alexander Hamilton's father-in-law, Philip Schuyler. Interestingly, King, who had just moved to New York from Massachusetts, drew the initial 6-year term, allowing Aaron Burr to unseat Schuyler, who drew the 2-year term, and fuel Hamilton's hatred. He was the final friend Hamilton contacted before the fateful duel, the fateful duel, in which Hamilton was killed, and was arguably the most outspoken senator against slavery following the Missouri Compromise. That is Rufus King. We're counting down the lesser-known founders of the United States. We're at number 4, Oliver Ellsworth. Where is it? Where is it? Where's number 4? Oh, here it is. He didn't sign the Constitution. He left the convention early, but contributed the idea for equal representation in the Senate and made several prominent speeches highlighting Federalist principles. Was the main architect of the Judiciary Act of 1789. He was the person who actually confronted George Washington to suggest John Jay's mission to London. He served as Chief Justice from 1796 to 1800. Number 3, John Dickinson. We've already heard this guy's name once. He is the penman of the Revolution. His letters from a farmer in Pennsylvania played a major role in uniting the colonies against the taxes from Britain in the late 1760s, specifically the Townshend Acts. He also would write the petition to the king in 1774 and the Olive Branch petition in 1775. After the Declaration, he opposed it, by the way, pointing out how outmatched they were. He voted present rather than vote against the Declaration in order not to undermine the United Front. He then picked up his gun and went to fight. He wrote the first draft of the Articles of the Confederation and later on served as the president of the 1786 Annapolis Convention, where it was decided to call for the Constitutional Convention the following year. He would also serve as a delegate to the Constitutional Convention, as well as was a signer of the Constitution. That is John Dickinson. Number 2, Robert Morris. Oh, here it is. He wasn't a general or a great orator. He was just a financier. And oh yeah, he was part of the group that wrote the Constitution. He was the guy who moved to make Washington the chairman of that convention. And he's one of 6 people who signed both the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. That's Robert Morris. Finally, number 1, we have Roger Sherman. He signed all 4 of the major documents of the American Revolution. Here he is. He's in the famous painting, the Bennett painting of the Declaration of Independence. I put an arrow above his head to show you. He was represented in that picture there. But let me show you this. He signed all 4 of the major documents of the American Revolution. Here they are. He was on the committee that helped draft the Declaration of Independence and came up with the proposal to make Congress bicameral, with the Senate being equal in number and the House being proportional based on population. So here are the 4 major documents to sign. He's the only one to sign all 4 of these. The Articles of Association, established in 1774 by the First Continental Congress. The Articles of Association implemented a boycott of British goods to protest the intolerable acts. The Declaration of Independence, declared American colony separation from Great Britain. The Articles of Confederation, these were created the first Constitution of the United States, establishing a loose confederation of sovereign states with a weak central government. Finally, the Constitution established the framework for the federal government, outlining the separation of powers and providing a system for amending the document, which has happened a bunch, as you know. So, yeah, that's that. That is today's top 15 list. Happy Independence Day to everybody that celebrates. Thank you for hanging out with me. There was a lot of reading there. I appreciate you sticking with me. Sometimes I feel these top 15 lists are too wordy, self-indulgent on my part. Thank you for hanging out and listening to my gums flap. But I'm glad you found it fascinating. That's kind of you to say. I want to thank you all for watching. Best of luck to everybody celebrating the 4th of July with fireworks. Here's hoping you have just as many fingers a week from now as you do right today. So thanks, everybody. I'll be back next week. I will see you around the chats. Until then, thank you. Happy 4th of July and good night.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.